Have you walked into your local grocery store lately and noticed the prices are higher again? Or maybe you've seen that some shelves, especially in the canned, frozen, or even baby formula sections, are half empty? You're not imagining it. Across America, from bustling cities like Los Angeles to quieter towns like Charlotte, millions of people are waking up to a new reality: empty grocery shelves, soaring food prices, and shrinking options. But this isn't just about temporary shortages or seasonal price spikes. It's a quiet alarm, a sign of a deeper, looming food crisis that could strike anywhere, at any time, across the United States. This is not meant to cause panic amongst the citizens. But the facts speak volumes. As major supermarkets pull out of working-class neighborhoods, food banks are overwhelmed, and families who once lived comfortably are now struggling to put meals on the table. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, food prices in the Los Angeles area have jumped 2.9% in just the past year. Staples like eggs, bread, milk, and chicken have seen some of the steepest increases on record. For many, organic produce, weekend takeout, or quality meals are no longer affordable. Instead, families are forced to rely on cheap fast food choices that may fill bellies but often harm long-term health. Once the American dream meant homeownership, raising a family, and keeping the fridge stocked. Today, many are forced to choose between buying groceries or paying for medicine. In New York City, the crisis is even more pronounced. The NYC Comptroller reports that 1.4 million residents, about 17% of the city's population, are facing food insecurity, the highest rate in 2 decades. New York Health Foundation also reports that despite considerable state investment, food insecurity remains a serious concern for millions of New Yorkers. For the past 5 years, NY Health has tracked food insufficiency, a more severe, short-term version of food insecurity in New York State, using U.S. Census data. In boroughs like the Bronx, Queens, and northern Brooklyn, the number of grocery stores continues to fall. Nonprofit City Harvest reports that nearly 100 small grocers and supermarkets have closed in just 2 years, citing rising rents and transportation costs as the final blow. The result? Whole neighborhoods have become urban food deserts, where residents must walk 10 to 20 blocks just to find fresh produce or milk. For seniors, single parents, and those without a car, that's not just inconvenient, it's almost impossible. And today, we're asking the big question: is America running out of food? We're breaking it all down, from skyrocketing prices, to broken supply chains, to why food banks are sounding the alarm. And most importantly, what you can do about it. Stick to Mary's Pot to get practical steps to prepare your pantry, save money, and feed your family smart without panic. Let's start with what everyday Americans are seeing right now. Eggs that used to be $1.89 a dozen now cost nearly $4 in some areas. Butter prices are up by over 30% in just 2 years. Rice, flour, canned tuna, once pantry staples, are either missing or marked way up. In Los Angeles, the price of a gallon of milk has surged to $7, nearly double what it cost in 2020. And the concern isn't just about rising prices, it's about access. Where do you even buy affordable groceries now? In California and parts of Texas, families are reporting empty freezers at big box stores like Walmart and Costco. Some Dollar General stores have even removed refrigeration sections altogether due to cost and logistics. Chains that once offered a safety net for low-income families like 99 Cents Only and Grocery Outlet are closing their doors across inner-city areas like Boyle Heights in South LA, leaving entire communities behind. Even more alarming, nearly 36% of seniors over 60 said they've had to cut back on meals this past year due to food prices. Farmers are also feeling the strain. Across the Midwest, spring planting was delayed due to flooding, and in the West, droughts have devastated almond and citrus crops. In 2024 alone, Central Valley farmers lost nearly 1/3 of their expected harvest due to lack of water. And it's not just farms, it's factories and trucks too. The meatpacking industry still hasn't fully recovered from COVID-era closures. Staffing shortages and rising diesel prices mean that even if food is grown, it might not get to your local store on time. And here's a gut punch: food banks, once a last resort, are now feeding millions more than before. In 2024, over 44 million Americans faced food insecurity, and that number is climbing. So what's behind all this? It's not just inflation. It's a perfect storm of issues hitting our food system all at once. Let's break down the 5 key drivers. Climate disruptions. We're seeing extreme weather like never before. California's Central Valley, known as America's salad bowl, is producing significantly less lettuce, spinach, strawberries, and tomatoes. In Florida, hurricanes have wiped out citrus groves. Record-breaking heat waves in the Midwest are killing crops before harvest. Climate unpredictability is turning once reliable growing regions into high-risk zones. Fertilizer and diesel prices. The cost of growing food has soared. Fertilizer, once cheap and widely available, became scarce due to the Ukraine war and restrictions on natural gas. Farmers from Iowa to Georgia are scaling back how much land they plant because they can't afford to fertilize it all. And let's not forget diesel. It fuels the tractors that plant and harvest, and the trucks that haul that food across the country. When diesel hits $6 a gallon, the cost shows up at your grocery store fast. International instability. A lot of Americans don't realize how global the food supply has become. 1/3 of fresh fruits and vegetables, a big portion of seafood, and even ingredients for pet food and baby formula are imported. The Ukraine war disrupted grain exports that feed the world. Middle Eastern conflicts have limited fertilizer and wheat production. Trade tensions with China and shipping bottlenecks in the Panama and Suez canals are slowing everything down. Global instability means citizens can't just rely on American-made food. We're all connected, and when the world sneezes, America gets food shock. Corporate consolidation. Did you know just 4 companies control over 80% of America's beef production? Cargill in Minnesota. Tyson Foods Inc. of Kansas, the biggest U.S. meat company by sales, mostly chicken. Brazil-based JBS SA, the world's biggest meat packer. And National Beef Packing Co., controlled by Brazilian beef producer Marfrig Global Foods SA. The same goes for pork, chicken, and dairy. If one plant goes down, it ripples nationwide. And that opens the door to price gouging, shrinkflation, same price, smaller portions. Monopoly practices that push smaller farmers out. We've handed too much control to too few hands. Labor crisis. From field workers to truck drivers to warehouse staff, the entire food supply chain is running short on people. Immigration policies, aging workforces, and poor working conditions mean fewer workers in every part of the process. Recently, there has been a farm crisis. Millions of crops rot as 70% of immigrants stay at home due to the fear of ICE, that is the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. And when there's no one to harvest, pack, or ship food, it doesn't reach you. Now let's talk about the real-life impact. Low-income families are skipping meals or choosing cheap, ultra-processed options that harm long-term health. Seniors on fixed incomes are being forced to choose between food and medication. Even middle-class households are making cuts. Fewer snacks, no name brands, and stretching one dinner into 2 nights. Since 2021, grocery prices have risen over 23%. And it's not slowing down. Fast food, once the affordable fallback, is now almost as expensive as a sit-down meal. A basic McDonald's combo can cost over $12 in some cities. Parents are packing smaller lunches. People are eating less meat and fresh produce. We should also know that poor nutrition causes developmental problems in children. We're not just seeing a price hike, we're seeing a shift in the entire way Americans eat. So is America running out of food? Here's the truth. No, America isn't running out of food entirely. But what we are seeing is just as real and alarming. Empty shelves. A fragile, centralized food system. Global dependency and over-reliance on imports and fossil fuels. High costs of importation. Higher prices and inequality in access. Food is available, but not affordable for everyone. In fact, the rising cost is the major problem. We're not seeing mass starvation, but we're seeing a slow-motion breakdown of a food system that once seemed untouchable. Now let's talk about solutions. Here's what you can do today to protect your family without panic or prepping extremes. Stock up smart. Focus on non-perishables and save the available ones. Rice, beans, oats. Canned proteins like tuna, chicken, sardines. Shelf-stable milk, peanut butter, powdered eggs. Buy a little extra each trip, it adds up. Preserve what you buy. Freeze bread, cheese, and meats. Learn to pickle vegetables or vacuum seal leftovers. Even if you live in an apartment, you can batch cook and store food creatively. Check my previous video to learn how to preserve food using both ancient and modern techniques. Grow something small. Basil, mint, lettuce, even a few pots on a windowsill help. Container gardening on a balcony can produce tomatoes, peppers, or herbs. It won't replace your grocery store, but it creates resilience and saves money. Buy local and seasonal. Farmers markets often offer fresher, cheaper produce. In-season foods are less reliant on shipping and refrigeration. You also support your local economy. Waste less. Plan your meals. Use what you have. Repurpose leftovers into soups, stir-fries, or casseroles. If you have any leftovers you do not know how to repurpose, just send me an email. Be rest assured to get amazing recipes from them. Every bit helps for your budget and your community. Stay informed. Follow channels like Mary's Pot where I share food-saving tips, seasonal recipes, and breaking food news to help you stay ahead of the curve. If this story resonates with you, we want to hear from you. What food item have you noticed missing or way too expensive lately? Have you ever changed your meal plans because of non-availability or high prices? Share your experience in the comments because your voice matters. Subscribe, like and share this video. Let's spread awareness and help others prepare smartly. If you have enough, don't forget to show kindness to your neighbors in need of food. Stay informed, stay ready, and take care of yourself and your pantry.